All right, we've got another edition of Team USA Tuesday. I'm Mike Willis of USA Wrestling. I am joined by 2018 World Bronze medalist Joe Colon. Joe is currently number 2 at 61 kilograms on the national team, although he's making a run at 57 for the Olympic year. Joe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just relaxing today.
Right on. Well, you had a pretty busy week last week, so thanks for coming on today and talking a little bit about that, as well as some other questions we've got for you.
Yep.
Ready to jump right into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, starting off, what is your favorite movie?
What is my favorite movie? My favorite movie would probably be, there's a lot of them, but Karate Kid's a good one.
Classic. Have you seen the new Cobra Kai on Netflix yet?
Yeah. I was actually watching a little bit of that this last weekend before Beat the Streets there with some of the family.
Yeah, it's a little on the corny side, but I think that's kind of intentional.
Yeah.
So I watched it. It was fun. It was fun.
Yep. That's good.
Next question: who is your favorite musical artist?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't really have. I mean, I listen to just about anything really. It all really depends on the mood. I don't really have, I guess, like a diehard favorite. Kind of just whatever mood I'm in, and I like the noise, I guess. Oh, I like rock, so that's not really the artist either. So I don't know. There's a lot of different ones.
Yeah. So are you a music before you wrestle type of guy, or do you like silence?
No, not so. Yeah, I mean, I go back and forth between the two. I like silence and getting the mind ready and kind of being focused. If it is gonna be louder and stuff like that, sometimes I will try to put on some music and relax a little bit that way. And then there are times where I want to listen to like some rock and get really pumped up and kind of just feel the body a little bit.
Gotcha. So kind of just depending what you're feeling at any given moment.
Yeah, the mood. Yep.
Interesting. So this question, I guess it can be answered two ways. What's your favorite food when you can eat whatever you want, and what's your favorite food when you're trying to make 57 kilograms?
Oh, I love some steak. Steak is good. So I'd probably say like some steak. Also a big fan of pasta, some shrimp. My favorite meal when I'm cutting down to weight, I don't eat. I mean, I eat, but it's more of like smaller meals. I have bars. I Cliff bars, Nutri-Grain bars. There's, I guess I do some like turkey sandwiches.
Yeah, none of that sounds as fun as steak and pasta.
No.
So if you're going to a steakhouse, what kind of cut of steak are you looking to get usually?
Definitely a ribeye or even or the fillet.
Yeah, can't beat it. Can't beat a ribeye. So did you play any other sports growing up?
Yeah. Growing up, I did a little bit of like soccer and hockey, not for like long extended periods of time, but played a little bit of those. Also ran cross country and track.
When did you make the switch to exclusively wrestling?
Oh, probably seventh grade.
And what drew you to wrestling more so than the other sports?
Definitely knew I was way better at wrestling than all the other ones. And I mean, I enjoyed it more. I guess more success too, and just really wanted to put, I guess, all my eggs in the basket and get better at it and do it more. Where like some other seasons could run into the wrestling season or the freestyle season. So just kind of invested more time and practices into wrestling and just almost kind of did it year round.
Yeah, hindsight, that worked out pretty well for you.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely paid off, and hopefully there's still some more to come.
so, who is your favorite wrestler to watch, either past or present?
Um, right now I like watching all the guys that are competing and trying to learn from all of them. Whether it be like we're in the practice room at the OTC, just kind of watching how they hold themselves, how they practice, what they're working on, and then in matches, what tactics and strategies and what moves they're hitting too, I guess. So I mean, I was watching Jordan Burroughs, and watching Yanni, Oliver, Dake, Jaden. I like watching all those guys, and I mean, just the way they go about some of the things.
Yeah. Do you spend a lot of time watching film, or are you not a big film guy?
I have over time. Maybe not so much when I was younger, or even in college. I'd watch some tape, but the way I watch tape now is a lot different.
So, how do you kind of pick it apart when you're watching film?
Um, Watching the action before the scores, not just so much like the the actual score. There's things that lead up to the initial shot all the way even through the finish. So just I think it's more in detailed, and I guess understanding the sport a lot more now helps with that too.
Yeah. Cool. So, outside of wrestling, what are some of your hobbies?
Outside of wrestling, I like to be outdoors. I like fishing. I like kayaking, hiking. Um, being out in the lake or the river or something. Those some fun times.
Gotcha. Outdoorsman. Very nice. Um, so, this can be serious or this can be funny, but what is your biggest fear?
What is my biggest fear? Um, my biggest fear. No, I mean I'm not like so scared of heights, but like just like that like free fall, like it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like being like, I mean, so I mean I'm a risk taker though too. I mean I'm not, but like heights a little bit, but not so. I mean I don't know, not so much. I guess that's kind of a bad one because I don't mind like climbing. I mean I did like roofs and stuff like that. So there are some people that are like terrified of even doing stuff like that. Maybe like just biggest fear. Um, I guess like having nothing, be thankful for what you have, I guess. Um, not
That's a
like I
good
mean
one.
whether it be like even the small things.
It's a good one. So you're in the thick of it right now, kind of approaching the end of it, and you've already got your, a coaching position lined up. But do you have, what are your competitive plans, or what are your plans once your competitive career is over? Do you plan to keep on coaching, or do you want to do something else?
Yeah, I definitely want to continue to coach and give back to the sport, especially for what it's given me. Uh, I mean, wrestling, I wouldn't be here without it. It's helped shape my life a lot, and just it's a powerful sport, and giving back to like I mean I guess relating my experiences to other wrestlers and coaching them and guiding them and helping them achieve, things that maybe I haven't achieved, or even achieve some of the things that I have achieved, or, just, and then the coaching, like just make them better humans
Yeah.
moving forward in life, get them a degree and set them up to do something after. For right now, college wrestling. I'm a coach in college wrestling right now, so set them up to be ready for life after.
Yep. And you're currently at Fresno State. Made the move a little while ago. How have you been liking out there, and how have you been balancing, coaching while also chasing your Olympic aspirations?
Um, no, it's helped me out a lot. It's awesome out there. The weather is great. I like the fact that I can train outside like all year round. You can go outside in the snow and all that, but that's just a little different. Maybe the training conditions and stuff like that. Balancing it, it's helped me because I have um, guys, and you expect certain things from them, and then you're doing it, and it holds you accountable. Them watching you. Um, Also, I think learning in a different way of like teaching instead of just always doing it. Um, teaching teaching it to them, and breaking, whether it be like a technique, breaking it down, and maybe I understand it better now that I've had to break it down and explain it to them, not just so, maybe it's not just so cut and dry, or maybe it is real cut and dry and simple, but like just thinking more about it, I guess, and giving the information to them has, I think, helped me out a lot in wrestling. That kind of goes hand in hand with like the tape stuff, watching more tape right now, and whether it be their matches and maybe seeing something that they did well, or something that maybe was a slight little mistake, or this little position kind of caught them off guard, and that's why they gave up the score. So it's kind of helped me develop in my own wrestling, really, I guess.
Was there anything unexpected that you encountered when you kind of transitioned into coaching, like whether it be, administrative or recruiting or whatever? Just was there any aspects of it that you were like, I didn't really see this coming?
Um, oh, I'm always trying to learn and and understand more about the whole, how things work, and it was a brand new program, so there was a lot of different things that, watching it develop and come back to be a program was really interesting, and you don't get to watch a program be reinstated, and how that whole process works all the time, and pretty fortunate to be a part of that and see how that how that stuff all works out and how it's done, and then also, still just learning, different roles and maybe different expectations, or like maybe you get more on the plate, so it's um yeah, just nothing too much, just trying to continue to learn and do better every every time.
Gotcha. Last week, you competed in the Beat the Streets event in Hoboken. It was an awesome card, and I think most folks probably agree. You and Seth Gross had the match of the night. Real fun match. A lot of points being scored. Kind of similar to the last two times you guys wrestled, where you came up on top. But again, really entertaining bouts with a lot of points being scored. Could you talk a little bit about that, and how you ended up on the card? This was your second straight year competing in a Beat the Streets event.
Yeah. Um, Wrestling with Seth, it's going to be a lot of points, especially like you said, considering our last couple matches. He wrestles through positions. I like to wrestle through positions, but I think a big thing too is we're always wrestling to look to score points, and we're not really scared to take risk, I guess, or wrestle through situations. So we might allow, a little more action or freedom while we're engaging, I guess. But no, taking the match was, I was actually driving back from, I was headed back to Iowa for my mom's birthday and just to visit with family, and caught my grandma's birthday as well. And I
Nice.
wasn't sure if I was going to compete in it. And, I was hit Utah and got really thinking about it and wanting to get back out there. And I gave Buckley a call and talked to Buckley and kind of got it done that way. You know, uh, and it was fun being out there wrestling on the waterfront there, and the background, and Beat the Streets is just a really great event for what it stands for. And just to give the fans wrestling too is was great too, considering the time we're in right now, and how things have been working out with wrestling. you know um, Hopefully there's going to be continued more and more wrestling and action for the fans moving forward.
Yep. And after your match at Beat the Streets, you kind of said you were seriously, at one point had considering retirement. Um, can you talk us through that a little bit and about what brought you back?
Yeah. Just the coaching, a little bit, but then also like what I wanted to put all my eggs into a basket and focus on. That was it. And a little bit of some nicks and injuries on the body, and maybe not always feeling fresh. I know you're not always going to feel fresh, but like just having certain injuries kind of hinder maybe a little bit of how I wanted to perform, and maybe even how I wanted to train. Had to kind of alternate some of those things, and then um, not wanting to regret it, I guess. If you have more in you and you feel like you can still give it out, like you shouldn't cut yourself short, I guess. And it is something that like I've always wanted to do, and like my goal is to be a Olympic champ, and I haven't quite reached that goal yet. So there's things that I still want to achieve, and that I believe I still can go and achieve. Um, and I love competing. I love the sport, and it's something that I really still want to do. Maybe with a little bit of that time to recover over some of that shutdown and stuff. It was kind of nice to actually allow my body to maybe heal instead of always just maybe push through the injury, or keep continuing to antagonize it and not let it ever get better. Where the break, I mean, kind of let my body, I feel like, heal up a little bit on its own, which I think is powerful. And like, I mean, our bodies are capable of so much. And I felt good out there competing at Beat the Streets. I felt, not hesitant whether I'm taking a shot or pushing off certain ligaments and stuff like that. But like, I mean, I felt good. I felt solid, and like I know that there's more in me, and like how I want to wrestle is like I know I can beat anybody in the world when I wrestle the way that I want to wrestle. And I mean, I know I'm capable of going to score points, and just have to keep on getting better, I guess, and tightening up some areas, and keep believing.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that you have to deal with that not everyone has to deal with is you're a 61 kilogram guy. There is no 61 kilogram Olympic weight class. You're dropping down to 57. It's a tough cut. You were a 133 pounder in college. I think in 2016, I think you said, you were going to make a run at it, but the weight was, a big obstacle. 4 years later, how are you making weight, and how has COVID-19 affected that, essentially, when it pushes everything back for a year?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things is just like lifestyle changes, and everything adds up. Whatever you're putting in your body, and committing to that change of really watching the diet and the intake, and making sure you're getting the right, whether it's the calories burnt that day or getting your workouts in. It's just a consistency. And it took some time to get down there. I mean, it's not something where maybe back before, when I was making it 4 years ago, it was something I tried to do in a couple weeks, and now maybe you do it over months of time, and that's a big difference and a big help. Um, and just being older, wiser, maybe understanding my body a little bit more on like what I can put in and how much I burn out. And just having a better understanding and of how it all works. The whole COVID now and what it does moving forward. I have to make the decision on whether it's really hit the weights hard and get bigger. But I mean, I don't see that happening here soon. But like if I were to continue wrestling farther down the road, that's something that could maybe look into, or it's continue to try and shrink the body and make it the most efficient it can be at that weight. And that's, I mean, and the hardest part of that whole thing is, having the energy, which you get from food, and being hydrated, and having all that balanced in one to go out and compete at your highest level.
Yeah. So we saw you at 57 for the Matteo Pellicone in Rome, Italy. You had a really strong performance. You finished second to Thomas Gilman, world silver medalist. How did you feel competing at that tournament? And I know your results were good, but how did your body feel?
It felt good. It was actually probably the easiest I've made 57 kilos since the last time I did it, which was 4 years ago, before that time. And, just doing it over a longer extended period of time allowed me to, maintain energy throughout the whole tournament and recover. I think recovery was really big. It's a 2-hour weigh-in. You don't have the next day to recover and compete. So just, being ready for that aspect of it was, I think, kind of played a bit more maybe in my favor of doing it the right way and making sure that I'm ready to compete like you do in college a couple hours after you weigh in.
Yep. So that tournament was in January, I believe. Was the Beat the Streets event the next live match you had after that?
Yeah. So this was been the first time I competed. Excuse me, the first time I competed since Italy, the tournament in Italy. Yeah, in January.
When's the last time you've had a layoff without matches that long?
Oh, it's been probably a while. That's what is that? January, February, March, April, May, June. It's almost 7, 8 months. Probably not too. It's been probably years.
Yeah. Um,
Um, yeah.
what was that like? And then for Beat the Streets, was there any nerves getting back on the mat, or was it all just kind of eagerness to go out and do it?
Um, Not really many nerves. It's I don't think like that's something that's still in me. That whole competitive fight, the wanting to go out and compete and put up points. I don't really get nervous from all that, and like I don't think that's something that I will lose. I like I think it, like people say, kind of like riding a bike or something. A lot of us competitors and wrestlers are ready to. Ready to wrestle. We can make ourselves ready to wrestle that day, right then, right now. So I think that part, no, not so nervous, and but it was just fun and exciting. Just to go do it again. Not doing it in a long time. Doing it, remembering probably why you do it. And like the love you have for it. And just wanted to go put on a show again, and for what it's the event and what it's for. When you can wrestle for those causes, it's awesome to give back in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure you've received a lot of advice in your career, but what do you think the best or most memorable piece of advice you've received has been?
Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of So one quote that I really like, Mark Schwab kind of told me. I kind of use this with a lot of different things, and it's I'll adjust, I'll find a way. So I use that in a lot of different things in my life.
Yeah, that's a good one. Strong one. Um, in a similar vein, if you were to give advice to somebody who, let's say, is kind of just starting out in their wrestling journey, what advice would you give to them?
Ask questions. Don't be afraid to stay after and work on some things, even when it's practice may be over. Just because you can do it maybe those 2 times, I mean, you got to be ready to do it under the pressure, under different circumstances, whether you're tired or or whether you're winning by one or down by one, you still have to be able to execute it. So it's never really going to be perfect, but keep striving to do better in it. And repetitions, get your reps in, and I think like quality mat time. Like again too, like just doing one technique on somebody isn't like, you got to be able to do it on that person when they're physically moving and they're throwing unknown movements at you, right? So just keep practicing and put yourself in different situations and wrestle a lot.
Yeah. So during a really tough training session or, a tough weight cut or whatever it is, where do you find your motivation and what helps you, dig deep to do the hard things you need to do?
Uh, there's a lot of those too. It is a mindset. I mean, we hear about like all these professional athletes do it a lot all the time. Like they reach out to maybe a less fortunate or someone that can't do it, and maybe they spend some time with them before the game or something like that. But just looking at different situations and whether it's, I mean, being thankful or like maybe you dedicate to them. Just try, and then maybe it's even you just talk yourself into it. So I mean, there's a lot of different areas where it does generate and come from. It's and I don't know. I think of those. I mean, you think of those people, or when it's getting tough, or maybe someone that's in the room that they just like they can't do it anymore, but they're watching or something. Maybe you gravitate from them a little bit, or you think about that. And just little things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the last question I got for you today, Joe. But what is your best wrestling memory to date?
Definitely, definitely winning my world's bronze medal. Um, that was just there's a lot that come into mind and different, like, I guess, little pictures maybe that I can see that just flash, but like that was special. Doing it for your country. Doing it for something bigger than just yourself too. And like, I mean, as a team, I mean, they were world champs the year before, so that was something that in my mind I was trying to help them repeat at, and that was very special.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, it was a dominant match. It was a tech fall. I believe you got on top and you couldn't stop your turns. Um,
Yeah.
did you visualize that match before going in? What was your mentality as you were stepping on the mat?
Um, Kevin Jackson was saying, the night before, these bronze medal matches or these medal matches to get into them, they're going to be won a lot on, like, I mean, who wants it more, and heart and pride, and who's just going to stick to it and just want it more. And that was something, like, I mean, I really wanted it. Almost like getting basically like a second opportunity, considering how I made the team and what happened that way. Um, the goals have always been to have a world medal, to be a Olympic and world champ. Fell a little bit short of it, but like I was still, like, my opportunity was right there, and I wanted to take advantage of it. And I did. and it was just special, definitely.
Awesome. Well, Joe, thanks for taking some time to answer some of our questions today. Really appreciate it. And hopefully I get to see you back on a mat sometime soon.
Definitely, for sure. Thank you.
Yep. This has been another edition of Team USA Tuesday. I'm Mike Willis. Thanks for tuning in.